All right. Did you got your thing squared away with trivia? I gave you the name, but you had other stuff too.
I have what's it worth?
Right.
You're getting stickers and your appreciation.
Okay.
Is grips.
Okay. Because you haven't been alongside me doing this show in quite some time.
But I've been alongside you for 40
You've been
years.
alongside me for 40 years almost.
Right.
That's true. That is true. But we haven't done the show in quite some time, but we're back and we're live and it's feeling good and we got some really cool prizes. So onward and upward.
Okay.
What else? I've got, I want to announce a new show supporter tonight. And did I tell you about John Cacaval? I saw him at the Mid-Atlantic. All right. He wants to re-up for another year. So we have to invoice.
Cool.
Invoice. Okay. All right. I got to start the show. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye. What?
I'm Gary Semix, and you're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A with Joe Abbate.
Good evening, everyone. You're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A. It is good to be back in warmer Northern California than it was over in the East, where we had some snow when we left. But all in all, it was a great time. The York Swap Meet, we talked about that. It was about 2 weeks ago. Sadly, we did have to come on last week with a special show for our dear departed friend, Steve Wise. But Susie's back.
I am.
She has not been by my side here on the show for a couple of weeks, but she's here now. And she's got some gifts that she's going to be giving away tonight, some prizes. We have some anything else that you have?
No, I have grips for viewer appreciation and stickers for what's it worth, and a poster for trivia. We have trivia tonight. Trivia
returns, and as always, we got the special going on. For just $249 a month, you can become a sponsor of Vintage Motocross Q&A. Reach about 1 million people a month. We are talking to some new sponsors about that right now. But if you want to get your brand up on the board, and over on not only Facebook, but on other social media platforms as well, get a hold of me, and we could do that for $249 a month or for just $49 a month. You can become a supporter of the show, get your name up on the board for 90 days. You will also get a poster like this, compliments of Mike McCook, and you get a T-shirt of your choice and an apron, all for just $50. Mm-hmm. Not a bad deal, I think, right? Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, just yesterday, I got a phone call from this gentleman right here. Randy Gant. Mm-hmm. Randy Gant, welcome to the show supporter group. We're going to have your name up on the board. I'll probably put it over there on Susie's side, or else it'll be here somewhere. But I do wanted to thank you, Randy Gant, and we have your question also on the show coming up a little bit later, okay? I need to get together with this gentleman right here, Paul Parkinson Sr., Mm-hmm. Really great stuff. He's back on board with ReplicaMotorcycleParts.com. I know there's been some new things that have been built in the interim. So I want to sit down with Paul now that we're all settled in and swap meets are over and things like that, and figure out what exactly is going on at ReplicaMotorcycleParts.com. In the meantime, don't forget to keep sharing the show, whether you're on Facebook or you are on YouTube. Share the show. Tell us where you're watching from, what some of your favorite segments have been over the years, what you'd like to see maybe in the future. And maybe we'll get that on the show for you. I did just mention this, the special with the poster and the T-shirt and the apron for just $49.95. And Susie mentioned something about these grips. Mm-hmm. And that's right. You keep sharing the show, and a little bit later on, Susie's going to have an announcement for the Viewer Appreciation Prize. All righty. I saw Ed Roman when I was back east during the York Swap Meet and the Potomac Vintage Riders Banquet. Ed assures me that Arma will be back on board with us here in February. And in the meantime, during their slight hiatus, I still keep them up here on the board and mention Arma, one of the first and one of the best groups out there that started vintage racing for us way, way back in the 90s when I was over at York. You know who I saw? Big cog in the wheel here for the show, Roy Vanderveer. Roy was there. We had a great time. We talked about a few things, and Roy sent me a couple of videos. Now, it couldn't have been last week because last week we had the Steve Wise special.
Right.
And I don't think I showed it the week before. This is the video, and a lot of people ask me about it. You know what? Without any further ado, here it is from Roy. This is about plating cylinders that were not plated originally. Check this out. Roy, where are you, babe?
So while I'm enjoying this freshly plated cylinder from the good folks at Power Seal, I thought it'd be a great time to address a question that was asked on the live show, but it was never really answered at all. And the question was, why plate a steel-lined cylinder? So I'll bring this guy into frame. If this was never plated, why would I want to plate it? And after that question was asked, it was pretty much dismissed as, well, I don't know. Well, I actually do know, and I have done it. And I know other people that have done it. And there's a great reason for some people why they might want to plate this cylinder. There's a lot of variables to consider. Budget, of course, is one of them, but sometimes this can be a better budget proposition than putting a sleeve in it. It depends on a lot of variables. But let's talk about why you might want this in here. First and foremost, Nicosil is 10 times harder than steel, so it will wear vastly better than the iron liner. It has better lubricating properties and offers a very low coefficient of friction, so that gives you better performance. This is something that can save a worn out cylinder that has been worn beyond the available overbore sizes. So if you're at 80 thousandths over or wherever it stops for your application, you can plate it at 80 thousandths and then forever moving forward, it's going to be an 80 over cylinder. So the Rockwell hardness of Nicosil is around 90 to 95. That effectively makes it one of the hardest substances on the planet. The only thing harder than this, I believe, is diamond. Then if we look at a steel liner, and this is a little bit less absolute, because there's a wide range of different steels and different thicknesses that can be used. So again, I like absolutes, so I look it up and I'm trying to find out what is the Rockwell hardness of this liner, and it varies depending on which steel it is and how thick the steel is. But I saw numbers ranging from the low 20s to the mid 60s for Rockwell hardness. So that just gives you an idea of how much harder Nicosil is rather than steel. I have a true life adventure. I have Nicosiled air-cooled YZ250 cylinders, and they wore like iron. I mean, maybe that's a bad reference, but they were so durable. The piston stayed in specification way longer than it did with the iron liner, and since the bore wasn't wearing, a lot of times the majority of the wear is actually on the bore, not so much the piston. So it depends on a lot of variables. Of course, Nicosilling a steel liner is more expensive than Nicosilling a plated cylinder. There's a lot more steps involved. And I'll also share a third-party experience, and this is through Mark Hoyer and Kevin Cameron with their Cycle World podcast, which, if you're looking for information, these guys are distributing insight that will carry forward for as long as there are internal combustion engines. the stuff that Kevin Cameron has been around to experience, it's just fantastic. And I'm so grateful to them because they're getting it down. They're recording it. Now everybody can learn from their experiences. So the experience here was with Mark Hoyer, and he has a 1956 Velocette. And the problem was he was consuming a lot of oil, and the oil was getting contaminated really, really fast. And with that bike, there's a whole lot of maintenance tasks that we don't even know anything about. You know, we're talking about a 1956 British motorcycle. They were not renowned for being reliable or durable. And for them to have to do a valve job every 1,500 miles was just business as usual. So Mark had this problem with his Velocette that he really wanted to stop contaminating the oil so quickly and stop burning oil. He had brand new pistons, brand new rings, brand new bore. There's no reason for it to burn so much oil. So he went the route, and he had his Velocette cylinder nickel plated, and sorry, not nickel plated, but nickel-sealed. And right away, the oil stays clean for thousands and thousands of miles. That's because there's no piston blow-by. Nothing's blowing by the rings. Their nickel makes a better seal than steel. And his other complaint, which there was oil consumption, he went to burning no measurable amount of oil, and the oil stayed clean, and that's all he needed to be happy. So for him, putting Nickel on his iron liner was a great decision. For me, putting Nickel on my iron liners was a great decision because it made the top ends last 2, 3, 4 times as long. It's kind of hard to quantify exactly, but I take the top end off and measure the piston. Be a little wear on the piston, no wear on the bore, none, 0. That cylinder is still in service. I could start it and ride it tomorrow, and so that's nice. But you're investing in that. You want to know, because you're going to spend some money. You want to know that you're really ready for that, and that the benefit is going to be worth it. So this is where consulting with a good engine builder or doing a lot of research, you can weigh the pros and cons as to whether or not nickel-sealing your iron liner is the best choice for you. So I hope that clears up why people might consider putting nickel on their iron liner.
All right, Roy Vanderveer, really, really good segment on why you should consider nickel-sealing your sleeves or bore in your bike that may not have been nickel-sealed before. Really, really good information there. I want to thank Roy Vanderveer. The Moto Showcase is brought to you by Preston Petty Products. Be sure to visit them online at PrestonPettyProducts.com. And you know what this is? I've been talking about this for a couple of months now, and I'm really proud to say it too. Paul and Patty Stannard, of course, have brought the molds back to the United States, where they belong, with the name Preston Petty embossed on them. They are now made in the United States. So be sure to visit them at PrestonPettyProducts.com. Also, I saw some great lime green and some Yamaha IT blue samples at the York Swap Meet that Paul Stannard had there with him. Again, PrestonPettyProducts.com. Tonight, we're going to take a look at, in the Moto Showcase, a 1982 SWM RS250 GSTF3. Now, I know that's easy for me to say. Actually, it's not. It's a lot of numbers, and there's a lot going on there. Now, I happened to pick this bike as I was going through the auction results for Mecum this morning. This bike belonged to a former sponsor of ours, Vinco, the late Curtis Leverton. who was sadly killed in a bicycle accident, I guess about 6 or 7 months ago. This was in his collection, and his collection went up for sale starting today at the Mika Motorcycle Auction. But this was something that I just thought was a real interesting bike. It has an interesting history to it. So I'm going to make it a little bit about Did You Know, and also the Moto Showcase. Here we talk a little bit about when SWM was founded 55 years ago in Milan. It was headquartered in Biadoro, Varese, Italy, and it went through a lot of changes in that time. The SWM RS250 is a classic Italian enduro motorcycle produced in the late 70s and the early 80s by Speedway Working Motors, SWM. Known for using its high-performance 247cc Rotax engine, these bikes featured an in-house frame, suspension, and bodywork, making them competitive in vintage ISDT style off-road racing. Some of the other key details and features of this bike: 250cc two-stroke, utilizes a Rotax Axe engine with a Bing carburetor. The purpose: enduro cross-country competition. GS stands for Geländestraße, or in off-road street in a German-Italian context. Components commonly equipped are 38mm Marzocchi front forks, quality rear shocks alongside Barani aluminum rims. Popular versions 77 to 79 models were highly regarded, while the 82 to 83 models represent later refined versions. Value for these models, people say somewhere between $1,800 and $5,900, but I've seen them go for a whole lot more, especially a motorcycle in this condition. These motorcycles were increasingly rare, and they sought after by collectors throughout the world. Now, SVVM, Cerrone Vergami Vermacchi Milano, is an Italian motorcycle manufacturer founded in 1971 by Piero Cerrone and Fausto Vergani, and it was owned by Shinrei Group of Chongqing, China. Imagine that, China again. Based in Milan, SWM manufactured observed trials enduro motocross bikes, off-road motorcycles from the 70s till the 80s. They started with a small capacity Sachs engine, and then they worked their way up to the Rotax engine, including that in trials bikes. And the main manufacturers at that time were Fantic, Montesa, and Voltaco. But SWM did manage to make their way in there, and they made the announcement in 2014 at the Milan show that SWM are back in the market, and they're introducing a 6-speed street bike, including a 300 and a 650cc version. Other bikes they've made along the way, they had the Rotax TL125, the 320, the trials bikes back in 1977. Those also had Marzocchi forks, and they also got some development input from such great riders as Sammy Miller and Charles Cottard. These first trials machines were red and white. What else is going on at SWM? Well, they went into liquidation. Armstrong of Bolton, England, bought them, and they bought the rights to SWM, Tornado, a Rotax engine machine, a 350cc 506cc machine, with CCM and Armstrong developed a market for the military version. SWM today, they went into liquidation in 1984 and production ceased. There are still people out there riding SWMs until this day in their classic twin shocks and trials events throughout the UK. And I've seen them here in America as well. Rotax engine spares are still readily available, and many of the other spares that went out of production, like Service Plastics, are being produced and distributed by specialist companies such as Moto SWM in the UK and Midwest SWM in the USA. Engineer Emilio Macchi, formerly with Cagiva, Aprilia, and Husqvarna, is driving the resurgence of SWM once again in 2025. Funding for the company has come from China, being the entity Shinrei Group again. SWM will keep manufacturing in Italy in the factory where Husqvarna was. And other than that, the brand belongs to Cagiva Group, now MV Agusta, that was bought in 2014. Anyway, here you have it. Currently, Husqvarna is using the KTM engine. And Husqvarna, of course, was bought out by BMW at a point. And this was all in that whole mix of things that were going on between 2014 and right now, 2025. But they are still floating around. They are making a bit of a comeback. I think it is an absolutely beautiful motorcycle. I've always had a weakness for Rotax engines, owning a few Can-Ams and some other bikes that I've ridden I have not owned. But I have ridden some Can-Ams with that bulletproof Rotax engine. So there you have it. This bike belonging to the late Kurt Leverton. Got the Vinco shocks and some beautiful plastic on here. Looks like it was polished. Just a beautiful, beautiful bike. We are going to take a short break, and we will be back with more Vintage Motocross Q&A.
I'm Don Kadowski, and you're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A. Don't go anywhere.
God said, let there be light, and there was light. Preston Petty said, let there be light, and he gave you this, 1,200 lumens with a rechargeable battery on the back. Hook it up to your bike. No wires, no fuss, no muss. Get over to PrestonPettyProducts.com today. Thanks, Paul Stannard. All right, we are back somewhere here at Vintage Motocross Q&A. Come on. All right. Hey, Suze, you said something about in the commercial break that there was a question from somebody?
There was a question from Doug Dobbs. He wants to know about his 1969 DT1 Enduro. The ignition coil on the stator is bad. Will a complete unit from a 1972 MX fit? It also has points. Thanks.
There's a good possibility that it would, but what I would do is I'd go on a website and I would look up the part number and see if the part number is the same for your DT1 as it is on the MX. Now, your DT1 also has lights, so there would be some variations in the electronics. However, the ignition module, the points, the stator plate, things like that, there's a good possibility. There's also a good possibility that it's even better. But the first thing I would do is I would check out the part numbers and see if the part numbers are the same. Okay?
Okay.
So
I hope.
thanks for the question. Now, I got to move on with the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. Where do we leave off? We are back. And you know what? We're going to have some good stuff coming back to us. I know he's at New York. I know he's at the Mecum motorcycle auction this weekend. But the Mako Mo segment will be back with Paul Griffin in the very, very near future. Okay. In the meantime, we're going to go on to the Here's the Problem segment. Here's the Problem brought to you by Motion Pro. Be sure to visit them online at motionpro.com. And this question is from our latest supporter, Randy Gann. Joe, my wife and I thoroughly enjoy your show, and we try to watch without fail every week. Sincere thanks for Steve Weiss' tribute. He was a good man, and his passing was a tremendous loss for us, still remaining in this earth. We recently restored a 1974 CR125M and would like to start another 1974 CR125M restoration project as a DG Racer tribute, but we're having trouble determining the yellow paint color code. Any hints or clues from your vault of knowledge would be most appreciated, sir. Well, I reached out to one of the big brains in the business who built this bike right here. And he's a sponsor of the show, too. It's Tom McAllister from Full Cycle Racing, and he built this bike with Reese Dengler. And this is a replica, but to me, I think it is the most accurate replica I have ever seen. Now, some of you may remember this picture. I think it was from Modern Cycle. And Modern Cycle was a little bit different than dirt bike or motocross action at the time. They would have some full color page coverage of some races, but it was always a little grainy. I mean, the picture quality wasn't there. Anyway, there is this picture, and that is the bike, and that is Brock Glover riding it. So the McAllister replica does have that swing arm and a lot of other things, including that laydown kit that looks very, very authentic. But your question was, what is the color that you need to match that bike? Bright yellow, 1976 Chevrolet Corvette. There it is. That's the color you're looking for. So if you go to your paint supplier and you ask for bright yellow, 1976 Chevrolet Corvette, you are going to get that color. Okay? And with so few of these DG replicas out there done correctly, because I've seen a few that you'd puke when you looked at them. But with one like this, like McAllister's bike, I mean, this thing's beautiful. Perfect. And I've seen the other ones you want to vomit when you look at them, plain and simple. So there is your answer, Randy Gant. Thank you for your show support. I hope my answer was sufficient for your question. Okay. Susie, what time is it, babe?
It's trivia time.
Hello, trivia. All right. Trivia brought to you by Mike McCook and Motorcyclist Illustrated. They are on Facebook. It's a great little page. What can I tell you about it? There's a lot of different things on the old Motorcyclist Illustrated page, things from off-road, dual purpose, as well as street bikes. The prize, this beautiful 18 by 24 poster of Jam and Jimmy Weiner and Tony DiStefano. This was the cover of Racer X back in 2004. All right, this is a call-in trivia contest only. Scantily clad ladies are standing by waiting to answer your call. That's at 925-784-2195. 925-784-2195. And here comes the question. He was born in, it's actually a statement and a question. Now listen carefully because every line of this says more than it actually says. He was born in 1946. He won national titles in 67, 69, and 71. Pause. In 74, he won the inaugural AMA 250cc national championship in the USA. Who is he? Okay? 925-784-2195. We are going downtown right now with Dave Boydson. Dave's Classic Corner. Dave is lighting up the floor right now over at the Mika Motorcycle Auction. I think he's got about 10 or 15 bikes out there over the next couple of days. Don't forget to follow Dave Boydson online on his personal page where he follows so many really, really cool events, including auctions and swap meets. Dave Boydson, big supporter of the show, huge, huge sponsor for many years in the vintage motocross scene. Dave's Corner this week features, well, let's see what we got here, Dave.
Good morning. This is Dave from AMS Racing. Today we got a 72 TM 250. First year for the actual TM. 71 was when the 250 came out. This has a Proform racing pipe on it. They came with the Akron style shouldered rims, Mikuni carburetor, CDI ignition, brittle plastic fenders. These are NOS brittle plastic. These are not painted. They are the original paint finish on them. Spike raced in our vintage club here in Arizona for, I think 3 seasons in 2 different riders' hands. And here it is now. So the ad in the magazine at the time for this bike showed Joe Robert's World Championship bike. I think it weighed about 157 pounds at the time. And then this bike, and it said you could have this one for, I think, $795 was the sticker price for this. At $795, a lot of people went and bought a dirt bike and went riding right away. It's got its original chain guide, not much to that. Look at the foot pegs, little dinky things. Came with kickstands, probably because the dealer needed something to hold them up. The stock air boxes on this bike, it did not have side panels back then. These are some aftermarket shocks that sort of resemble the stock shocks that probably were chromed. Stock seat. And this is what it looked like. This is the second year of the 400 by this time. And it was now yellow also. First year was orange. This is a 250, 1972.
There you have it. From Dave Boydson. Thanks, Dave. I want to thank you for sending in those great videos to us. Always informative and just great stuff from Dave Boydson. Suze, anybody on trivia?
No?
All right, I'm going to read it one more time, then I'm going to go to a commercial break.
Okay.
Okay? All right, here we go. And guys, look at every line. Look at every line slowly. He was born in 46. He won national titles in 67, 69, and 71. There were no national titles in America. In 1974, he won the inaugural AMA 250cc national championship in the USA. Who is he? Every line has something on it that would tell you who it was. We will be right back with more Vintage Motocross Q&A.
Hi, I'm Warren Reed. You're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A. We'll be right back.
I get asked often, what's the most important thing on Clunker? Answer's simple, it's me. That's why I use Full Circle Racing wheels prepped by Tom McAllister. So should you. Watch this and learn why. When racing vintage motocross where suspension is very limited, your wheels can be the difference between winning or serious injury. We chose to run full circle racing wheels because of the super high quality materials and the heavy duty spokes used. Prepped by Tom McCallister, I have the confidence on the track to push way harder through the rough stuff and the bigger jumps, knowing my wheels are going to stay under me. Hey, Clunker may be 50 years old, but his wheels are brand new, and yours should be too. Call Tom McCallister at Full Circle Racing today.
We are back with Vintage Motocross Q&A, and yet we still don't have an answer to tonight's trivia. I will tell you this, okay? It says right here he won national titles in 67, 69, and 71. There were no titles. There were no national championships in America in those years. So he did not win his national championships in America until 74. And it was a little bit of a dust-up in 74 when he won that title. And a rule was changed in the AMA books.
Mm-hmm.
There's another hint. Way at the bottom. Open your beady eyes, and maybe that will give you a hint. All right? In the meantime.
It's not Jimmy Pomeroy.
Jim Pomeroy?
Yeah, there's somebody saying Jimmy Pomeroy. No, it's not Jim Pomeroy. Jim Pomeroy wasn't born in...
Jim Pomeroy wasn't born in 46.
In 1946.
And he didn't win national championships outside of the country. Now, got to get back to the show. The What's It Worth segment is brought to you by Full Circle Racing. We just saw that great commercial for Full Circle Racing that was put together by Jerry Maddox. And yes, a lot of people get a lot of support from Tom McCallister and Full Circle Racing. Now we're going to move on to this. Tonight's What's It Worth? And it is a 1971 OSA 175 Scrambler. This is another one of Kurt Leverton's bikes. And it is, well, it was for sale today at the Mecum Motorcycle Auction. Okay, it's part of the show where I ask you, the viewers at home, to tell me how much you think this bike recently sold for. And I am not going to go into particulars about what was done to it because the pictures speak 1,000 words, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what a 175 OSA Scrambler is about. 175 OSA Scrambler, it's a Spanish-built, lightweight two-stroke vintage motocross bike known for its agile handling, competitive performance during the 1970s. Parts of the OSA Stiletto Scrambler line, this 175 model shares the same high-quality, lightweight, often orange and white design as its larger 250 counterparts. Key features and characteristics of this bike. Engine is a two-stroke air-cooled, single-cylinder engine with a 4- or 5-speed gearbox. The design, it's known for being lightweight construction, often featuring fiberglass tanks, sometimes integral with the fender, and a bright orange or white or red and cream color scheme. Something going on, Sue?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get the phone.
Oh, okay. Susie's going to get the phone. In the meantime,
Hold on.
suspension and wheels are equipped with telescopic front forks, rear dual hydraulic shocks, wire spoke wheels with off-road tires, typically a 21-inch wheel in the front. Handling was renowned for being fidgety. I don't know how a bike could be fidgety, but incredibly quick and nimble, making it an excellent and competitive choice for scrambles and flat track as well. Context, well, the 175 alongside the more common 250 Stiletto was part of the lineup that brought OSA to prominence in the U.S. scrambles and motocross racing. These motorcycles are highly prized by collectors and generally trade for larger dollars when going over the auction floor. Now, this bike is absolutely impeccable. I love everything about it. I'm seeing a paint job that is spot on as far as the color goes. The hardware is, of course, done down to the grips, the wires, the cables, everything that you would expect from a bike that would come out of the late Kurt Leverton's stable, down to the correct rubber bushings, the dust covers. Absolutely everything on this bike is just perfect. It truly, truly is. And how much do you think this bike recently sold for? Because it sold today. $10,000? $12,000. If I had to guess and I was watching this show, I would say $14,000. This bike went for an embarrassing low, $7,150. $7,150. Now, Susie was out of the room when this is going on. We are going to get Susie. The bike sold for $7,150. 150.
Oh,
Do you have the winner on the phone of the?
no, I don't. They didn't have the right answer.
They don't have the right answer. Okay.
The bike went for 7.
The bike went for 7,100, and I want to give it to the person who got closest without going over. George
Steve-
Ackerman, 93.
Steve Allen, 6,700.
I got Robert Charles Lighties here at 77, but that's over. Ed Bretschke, 65. What do you got, Suze? Tyler McGregor, 10. Oh, Jeff Bailey, 7,150.
Oh, there you go.
Jeff Bailey, you're our winner at 7,150. You're ours right on the money, 7,150.
Jeff Bailey.
Unless you put that
Oh, Sherry Maddox.
7,150. Jeff Bailey, you are tonight's What's It Worth winner. We're going to get your address.
How are you?
And you're going to get some stickers, I think, and some other cool stuff from Susie and Vintage Motocross Q&A. Susie is in the other room right now on the phone with someone regarding the trivia contest. Question again, or the statement was, he was born in 1946. He won titles in 67, 69, and 71. He won the 1974 inaugural 250cc AMA National Championship in the USA. Who is he? That little drawing on the bottom is not there by accident, fellas. When somebody would sit down and have a conversation with you, he would sit down and talk to you like this kind of uncle. What kind of uncle would that be? That's a hint. All right. I don't know if Susie's coming back here right now with the answers or not. But anyway, we're talking about Full Circle Racing just a moment ago. Thank you, Tom McAllister and Full Circle Racing, for being a sponsor of our show for, I don't know, like 6 years now. Susie, you got somebody?
Nope. They're all giving me the same answer.
What are they all saying? Jim Pomeroy?
No, they're all saying Gary Jones.
It's not Garrett Jones.
Okay, then. That's what they're saying.
Now, unless somebody is giving me the wrong information on the internet where I found this.
Oh, somebody got it.
Okay.
Somebody got it on.
Are they calling in?
No, but they said it on.
Who is it?
Gregory Scott Mills gave the right answer.
Gregory Scott Mills said what?
Karsmakers.
Pierre Karsmakers is the right answer.
I don't know.
All right. When I said before, Dutch, speak to you like a Dutch uncle, it was Pierre Karsmakers. Here is a picture of Pierre. He did win the championship in Holland, 67, 69, 71. He was born in 46. Now, in 74, he won, but there was a little bit of a dust-up, and I'm going to tell you why. Because here we are, 74, I don't know, 50 years later, Pierre wasn't an American. And yet he won the American title. So from that day on, you had to be an American citizen in order to win a national championship. Okay? Now, I do remember Gary Jones being in that mix-up in 74, but there was no 250cc national championship in 73. It was the inaugural one was in 74. So anyway, the answer to the question is Pierre Karsmakers. They also used to call him the rabbit because everybody was chasing him, like a hare and hound chase a rabbit. That's why I put a little rabbit there at the bottom of the picture. Okay? Are you going to get Steve's address? What's his name?
Who?
The winner who said Pierre Karsmakers.
Well, now they're telling me Ray Ritchie said. He said now we said it. I don't see anybody that said that on. Do you?
That said Pierre?
Yeah. You see it? Because I'm not getting all the feedback on your phone.
I got Harold Silbau at 5:33 saying Gary Jones, which was wrong. Keith
Right.
Linus will buy it. I am not seeing one person.
You saw Gary.
Tony Reynolds said Pierre Karsmakers. Here, I'll show you. There it is, Pierre Karsmakers. He said that at 5:32.
Tony Reynolds. Oh, okay. Tony Reynolds. Then I didn't see it.
Okay. And I don't see a Pierre Karsmaker answer earlier than 5:32.
What do you see the Karsmaker answer by Gregory Scott Mills?
Nope. No, I do not.
Okay, well, there you go. Tony Reynolds then.
Tony Reynolds,
Okay.
there has been a recount. Tony Reynolds, send me your address. You are the winner of, what were you giving away for the, what's it worth?
I'm giving away the Trivia's poster.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trivia. You're getting a poster and an apron and a t-shirt. Tony Reynolds, thank you for playing along. Thank you for being the winner. And thank you guys for all pointing out to me who exactly had it first. Otherwise, I would have had it all asked backwards and it would have been wrong. Okay? Tony Reynolds, message me your name. I know your name. Message me your mailing address, size, and color shirt that you want, and we will get you all that. Compliments of Mike McCook and Vintage Motocross Q&A. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with more Vintage Motocross Q&A.
I'm Heikki Mikkola. We will be right back.
That was perfect, Heikki.
Motocross struck America, coming from Europe like a lightning bolt, striking the hearts and minds of people all across the country and the world. Battles of intense racing and cutting rivalries with loyalty to brands and heroes intensified as years of blood, sweat, and dirt flew through the minds of those memories of champions as they wrestled their machines through almost impossible tracks. But where are those past champions? And where are their bikes? Terry Good, an ex-pro motocross racer, has made it his life mission to honor these heroes and the bikes they rode to stardom. We raced, we rode, we lived and breathed motocross. Go back in time and relive those moments, now preserved for the first time ever in the world's first museum dedicated to the history of motocross. Our new building is in the gate. Help us get a great start and you can be part of history. Go to internationalmotocrossmuseum.org and become a part of our team.
International Motocross Museum is a not-for-profit 501c3 organization. Be sure to visit them online at internationalmotocrossmuseum.org. Don't forget, all of your donations and purchases are 100% tax deductible. International Motocross Museum. Sunrise Vapor Blasting gets all of our work. Be sure to visit them online at sunrisevapor.blasting.com. Mark Farriester, thank you for your years of support here at the show. This Week in Motocross History. This Week in Motocross History is brought to you by Racer X, one of the finest motocross publications on your newsstand now, also available online. On this very day, January 28th, what do we got coming up first? 1984, Team Honda's Johnny O'Mara wins the Anaheim Supercross opener and finds himself in the perfect spot to win the AMA Wrangler Supercross Series. In each of the previous two seasons, a Honda rider won his first AMA Supercross at Anaheim, then went on to win the title. In 1982, it was Donnie Holshot Hansen. In 1983, it was David Bailey. And in 1984, it was Johnny O'Mara's first win too, and he would go on to become the series champion. Well, that's a great piece of trivia right there, huh? About Honda and winning Supercross championships 3 years in a row with three different riders. 1979, and on this date, the infamous Oakland paddle tire race, where Team Kawasaki's Jim Weinert and his mechanic Roy Turner found out that the track would be made of sand, so they went out and bought a paddle tire for that race. Weinert ended up winning, and the AMA soon outlawed the tires because of the roost being so intense. Said Bevo 40, the czar of motocross, quote, "They got to figure out if the tire was legal." Countered Ken Howerton of Suzuki, tire didn't make any difference. Weinert was just ready to win that day. And I'll tell you, I have heard from Brad Lackey that he brought that tire back from the La 2K in France. I have heard that they went out and bought that tire during the day that Roy Turner found it. I also heard that Roy Turner had the tire from somebody else's bike from another occasion. And I also heard that it was not banned before Pat Maroney won a national. After Oakland, it was somewhere, some race. Now, it couldn't have been a national. It could have been a Supercross, and could it have been a support class? I don't know, at that time, way back in 1979. Pat had been a pro already for a couple of years. Maybe it was in the Florida series. I don't know. But if you ask 4 people, you hear 4 different stories about the paddle tire. Anyway, what do we got coming up next, Suze? Oh, we got announcements. I think Susie's handling that. Suze, what do you got?
Oh, announcements?
Yeah.
The big news right now is that all Armor regional groups have posted their schedules for the 2026 season. There you go. Check
What
out
else?
their website or Facebook pages.
Yeah.
The national schedule is up to, with racing beginning as early as March.
Mm-hmm.
In what has become the premier event in NorCal, the CZ World Championship returns this year for 3 days in April. Stay tuned for when the next Hodaka days happen too. Back to you, Joey.
Thank you, Susie, baby. And there it is, 24th, 25th, and 26th, a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the original CZ World Championship. Always a really cool event with people coming from all around the world. Boy, I can think of a lot of people that have come from other countries. Some of them are no longer with us, but there's always been a lot of interest for the CZ race, and I have been invited up there this year by Rick Neighbors in order to videotape and make a little show about the CZ World Championship. And as Susie was mentioning, you know, it's not only the Missouri Vintage Motocross Riders and ACR, American Classic Racing, just about everybody has their 2026 schedules up. So whatever region you race in, go check out the websites. If you're really an ARMA guy, everything is really pretty much self-explanatory. ARMA Northeast, ARMA Southwest, ARMA Northwest, and stuff like that. Dave Boydson's got a series that's always going on, and just so many other really, really cool things happening here in the vintage motocross world. Don't forget, if you want to become a sponsor of Vintage Motocross Q&A, but just $249.95 a month. You can get your name up on the board there the same way ARMA, Full Circle, Preston Petty Products, and so many of our other sponsors who I have enjoyed spending time with, talking about their products, including Bultaco East and SoCal Mako, Gary Quartz, a lot of other cool, really cool people out there. Paul Parkinson Sr., I will give you a call tomorrow. Let's talk more about some products that we could bring on board and talk more about what you'll be doing in the future of replicating parts at replicamotorcycleparts.com. I think that about wraps it up for Vintage Motocross Q&A this week. Okay. Any other announcement? Again, I want to thank this guy right here, Randy Gann. $49.95, paid by PayPal. He wants to re-up every 3 months. And the same for John Cacaval, who I saw at the Potomac Vintage Riders. He's coming back, and you got some other people up there as well. I think we got some names you could see up there behind Susie. Can we see them over there? How come I can't get oh, there they are.
There they are.
Lou Blanchard, Lucas family, big presence at the Mika motorcycle auction. They're all out there. Mm-hmm. Dave Mackinnon, Achilles Caracas, Tom Miller. Thank you, Tom Miller. Jay Dougal, and there are some other ones out there too. And we've got more room for you. But in the meantime, I'm Joe Abbate. That's it for this episode.
Oh, you want Gino?
You know what Gino was today?
No. Where was he?
No, what he was.
Oh,
he was a big pain in my tuchus today. Barking at everything, chasing things around. I'll get him. Here, Gene. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on, jump up here, fat ass. Come on. Come on. That's because I feed you too much macaroni. That's why. I'm sorry, Gene. Okay?
All right. Good night, everybody.
Here we go. Okay. You okay, Gene? What? That's it for Vintage Motocross Q&A. We will see you next week.